we're in the Buckeye Hills Regional Park, which is basically mostly undisturbed desert. And yet, even here I can see the encroachment of building. We're an hour out from town, looking for birds, which is not something I ever thought in my life I would ever be doing. I've never been a bird watcher. The shelves are in, and they're good and solid. Don't get me wrong. It's not quite the way I wanted it to go. Police, fire trucks, I can't see them. Must be out. Well, maybe we'll go take a quick look. Anyway, let's finish this. The problem is, I'd forgotten what a pain in the ass these things were to hang. You have to be able to jam the wire shelf. You have to be able to jam the wire shelves over this to put them on. So they go on into the hook and then pull back out and then lock in place. Which means that whereas this piece up top, you can slide the bars anywhere you want, they can't actually go anywhere you want. They have to go at intervals of the wire gapping. Well, I'm pretty sure this shelf was made for standard 2x4 lengths, and these, or the distance between the studs, and these are not. Not only are they not, but they're not straight, right? With so much age, they're warped out of shape to some degree. So you can see here in this one in particular, at the top it's not over the 2x4, but by the bottom it is. Now they're perfectly straight up and down, and they're solidly in. I mean, this top piece is bolted down with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, I think. 12 screws well into the studs. And then these shelves are built with a sort of cantilever, so it goes in and then down. So they'd actually probably hold in place just with that on top. But then I've made sure there's at least 2 to 3 screws in each one, bolting it to the 2x4. You can see this one only doesn't have one here or here, but then it's got them down lower. So the shelves are in and they're done. Now I have to figure out, well, I've got one more thing I've got to do, and that's that space outside where I took the fan unit off. I've got this piece of crap board, and I need to cut that to fit in that hole and secure it. I mean, it's covered up, obviously. It's, I don't know, here or here, I don't remember which, but, so do that, and then I am done with the first stage renovation of the shed. I don't know if there is a second stage renovation, but this was the first stage, and it is good. So I'm screwing these to that piece of wood on the corners, and then I'll just screw this onto the side of the shed, and we'll be done. All done, but for the cleanup. The fun part, right? Of course, the problem with once I've got all the stuff put together is now I'm putting things back into the storage shed, and the shed's becoming full. Well, I mean, it's nowhere near full yet, but you know what I mean? It's not like that pristine open space. Anyway, over here I've moved the pegboard from the laundry room in, and I've spent some time today reorganizing it, and I haven't finished yet, but I have so many duplicative tools, both from tools I got, I think when I moved out to, not necessarily to college, but when I moved out, my granddad had at least 2 full sets of tools, maybe 3 sets of tools. My dad kept some. I got some. Then I have my electrician's tools and tools I've purchased since then. Isn't this annoying? And I just get too many tools, and I think I'm going to go through them and eliminate a lot of duplicates. I don't know if I can find a way to make money from that, even a little bit, but I mean, I have hundreds of extraneous tools. When, you know, how many crescent wrenches do you need? How many box head wrenches do you need? You know, you need a set. And so that's one of my tasks. So I've got the pegboard, and then I've installed a ladder hook here for this ladder. I've got this is another example. See, my dad had a ladder, so now I've got his ladder and my ladder, but we can use 2 ladders. So I'm going to keep that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that one yet. It might just stay right there, or I might hang it. I might hang it right there if I have enough room. We'll see. And then the shelves over here at the moment are still just kind of collecting stuff that I'm working with. So, yeah, that's what it's like so far. We have severe thunderstorm warnings back that way. And I'm not done with the shed yet. And let me show you why that's an issue. So I've been working on the pegboard this morning. And it's finally decided that I needed another pegboard. So I put in the second pegboard. And now I'm trying to spread it out and figure out what goes where. This stuff drives me nuts. It really does. It's like a jigsaw puzzle that has no right answer. And so trying to put the pieces together in a way that doesn't offend my OCD, but at the same time is functional and isn't stupid, comes to mind. And also one that I'll use and put the stuff back. I've brought out most of the power tools, and they're here on the shelves. But I haven't brought any of the hardware, screws, nuts, bolts, stuff like that, because I've got a 64 bin organizer on order. That won't be here till Thursday, and I have tons of packs of screws and washers and bolts and nuts and picture hangers, and and they're not in any logical order, so I'm going through that stuff. But so it's going to take time. It's going to take time. And there's a lot of stuff I have to throw away in the laundry room, which is where all this was, but there's just junk there. And some of it's junk that's like, just throw it away. And other of it is junk like, well, do I really need 3 hacksaws? I've got a good hacksaw here. This is my electrician's hacksaw that I had when I was an electrician. And I've got 2 more, a couple of cheap ones. One was probably my dad's. Who knows? Maybe both of them were my dad's. And I don't need them. So how do I get rid of them? So I'm going through that stuff. And then that means the stuff that was in this shed still has no home. And it's over here on the back porch. These are books and kindergarten school supplies that Juwan hasn't needed for years and may never need again, but she spent a lot of money on them. And because I got a bunch of chemicals for cars I don't even own anymore. I'm sure some of it applies to my car, but you know, it's just a bunch of stuff. So this, I'm pretty sure, is junk. I'm not even sure what that is. I don't know how many gas cans one human being needs. Well, that's an oil pan can, but I've got stuff to get rid of. And if a rainstorm comes through here, or worse, a hailstorm, which is what they've got 45 miles that way, we got a problem. Oh yeah, I also have all this over here. These are more sets of tools. that I need to do something with. And this is the laundry room, which, as you can see, I've got stuff piling up over here in the washer and dryer because I'm trying to go through it. And I've got just piles of stuff. Now, the reason this is all piled up here, if I didn't give you this story, was that it was relatively neat at one point in time, but it was mounted on those shelves that are out in the shed. And even though I'm not sure what the hell happened here, I was pretty damn sure I had this thing secured properly, but unfortunately it doesn't really have studs. It had to be done with large wing nuts, but they're toggleables, but they were rated correctly. So I'm not sure what happened. I think that the drywall separated a little bit from the wall. Anyway, those came tumbling down. This is the stuff that came tumbling down, and it's just sort of stayed tumbled down until we figure out what to do with it. Now, what I am going to do with it is I'm going over to Costco tonight. I'm picking up freestanding shelves of 500-pound capacity, and they're going to go in that area, and then some of this stuff is going to go in there. But a lot of this stuff is just crap that could be thrown away. Needs to be thrown away, given to Goodwill, something. So I'm working on that. You guys, I've got tool 1, 2, 3, 4 more toolboxes in here filled with tools. And, you know, example. Bit rusty. Probably my grandfather's. I'm sure I've got one. Saw I had a full set of crescent wrenches out on the... So, why do I need more? Pliers. I've got good pliers. Here are crummy pliers. 2 rivet guns. Do I need 2 rivet guns? I don't know. I've got 2 box saws. Why? Actually, that's a lie. I have 1 box saw and I have 2 boxes. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot of shit to go through. I was hoping to take time. Damn this weather. It's really pissing me off. All right. Now I'm working here in the back room. And like I said, we're going to get shelves and put up over here. But to do that, I'm going to have to get through this doorway, which has been blocked for ages because we don't use this door, blah, 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 blah. To do that, I need to get to these shelves, and I need to get all that cleared out so that, well, not shelves, but cabinets. I'll put those in myself. Many, many years ago, thinking that, you know, you'd do laundry in here, and then you'd have a place to fold your laundry. The fact is, I never fold my laundry. So, never have, and at this stage of my life, it's never going to be a thing I do. So, that just turned into a junk storage. But, as I'm now getting into these cabinets, which could be much better utilized than they are, and will be, and that's the important part, they will be much better utilized. I found this corner cabinet that hasn't been in for ages. You gotta look at the stuff that's in there. Okay, let's take a look at this corner cabinet. Alright, well, we'll start down there. There's an 8mm DAT tape SCSI interface, I think. There's a cassette tape player from the dawn of time, but it gets better. I think back there in the corner is a boombox, a CD-based boombox. But over here, this is the jewel. That black and white portable TV with, see that, knobs? My dad bought me that thing in high school, maybe even junior. You know something? He bought that for me in junior high school when we were going camping. No, that would have been high school, yeah. So that we would have a little TV with us on the trips. because I used to, you know, complain about not getting to watch my TV shows. And because we take long trips. Anyway, I used to take that TV, and when I was a kid, I would put a tent. I had a tent, pop-up tent that I kept over my bed. So it's kind of like a canopy bed. And I used to sneak that in there and watch Monty Python's Flying Circus at like 11 o'clock at night, because that's when it was on, and my dad wouldn't let me watch it. So I'm going to have to dispose of that now, because you can't even give those away. How about that? Form-fed labels. A kitchen faucet, I think. That little guy is an Israeli gas mask. Don't ask why I have it, but it's an Israeli gas mask. It's never been used in a gas attack. And this is a massive 3 million lumen spotlight that I doubt works anymore. And it's certainly not LED technology. Wow, what a blast from the past.